Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, The Virtual Wholesalers.
Yeah, today we are coming to you from our boring office. Not every day can be a travel day. We can't be looking at the sites every single day, but we are coming to you with a brand new video. It is the 10 steps to wholesaling your first house. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Step number one, you're gonna wanna find motivated sellers. So what we are looking for only consists of about 8 to 10% of the entire population of houses out there. We're looking for homeowners that have some sort of distress in their property, whether they're behind in taxes, the property needs to be fixed up, they're relocating, or there's some sort of motivation for them to sell. We're looking for somebody, you know, that is out there that is willing to trade some of their equity in exchange for the time, the speed, and the convenience of selling to a wholesaler or selling to an investor.
All right, so number two is marketing to sellers.
Yeah, so this could be anything from running ads on Google. You can run Google AdWords, you can run Facebook ads. Obviously, you can send out the old standby direct mail. There's also ringless voicemail, cold calling, text. I think there's probably a bunch that I'm not mentioning. But what you're trying to do is get your message in front of as many people that are motivated as possible.
So step number three is to pre-qualify your seller lead.
Yeah, so what we consider as far as pre-qualifying, we look for 4 major components. Number one, we try and build rapport and we have them talk about the condition of the home, what shape is the house in. We also we try and get the timeline from somebody. We are looking for people ideally that want to sell quickly or that need to sell quickly. I will tell you on a side note that lately in this market, we have found that if you actually speak to some of the sellers, some of them actually need to stay in the house longer than the 30 days that a typical wholesaler moves around in. So if you speak to them and figure out what their actual problem is and what they need in order to solve the problem, you may be able to get more deals locked up. We've locked up the last 3 deals by buying the property and then doing a rent back program to the actual person that previously owned it to remain in the property for 2, 3, 4 months, and then we take possession after that time. But those are normally deals that we would not have gotten if we did not take the time to sit down and actually speak with a seller and figure out what the best solution for them would be instead of what the best solution for us would be. And the last thing we always want to check on is motivation or why they are selling. I mean, in order for somebody to give up some of their equity to us or to sell to us, there has to be some sort of motivation making them do that, whether it be a divorce, you know, back taxes, the house is racking up liens, you know, something has to be pushing them in order to want to sell fast. We get all the details of the house and then we'll simply say, you know, look, you know, the house sounds awesome. Do you mind if I ask why you're selling it? And a lot of times the people will give you the info right there. If not, you may have to peel back a couple layers and dig a little deeper or get a little more rapport or build a little more rapport, and you really seek to solve their problem. It'll really go far, and you just have to talk to them normal.
Absolutely. Okay, so number 4, and I think it's so essential to the business, it is follow-up. What we've done in our business is we've made our follow-up automated. So the majority of it, about 90% of it's automated, and then we have a caller that actually works on follow-up only, and they'll go ahead and also do calls. But our automation includes some ringless voicemail, text, and emails. 50% of our deals come through follow-up. So it's something that we make a priority in our company.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, obviously, I wish every deal was low-hanging fruit and we could just send mail out, couple phone calls, and we could pick up the low-hanging fruit. But the reality is that most people are not ready to go right out of the first gate. They barely know you. It's one phone call or one piece of mail. So they're usually not ready to go. So you need to either be following up with them through voicemail, text, somehow getting your message constantly in front of them so that when they are ready to sell, you are the person. There's no question of who they're going to call because you're always there sitting in front of them wanting to buy that house. Number 5 would actually be going out and getting the paperwork signed or okayed on, and this is pretty much just a formality. If you have your pre-qualifying process done correctly, really you're just going out to put eyes on the house, make sure that it's still standing, and then have them okay the paperwork. Typically before we get in the car and drive out there, I'll ask, like, look, if we get out to the house and we come to an agreement, everything works as far as like pricing, timeline, and we are able to come to an agreement, are you ready to get the paperwork done today? Usually if they tell me no, they'll tell a reason, no, I have to rent it by my wife, or I have to talk to my brother, there's somebody else on title. And at that point, we can kind of readjust what part of the sales process we're in. We may need to try and get everybody together or meet everybody out at the house. The worst thing that you can do is try and sell to multiple people that are not actually at the house. So we definitely want to make sure that they're ready to go. In our own company, we do try and lock things up a lot over the phone, and then after we get them locked up over the phone, we will actually drive out to the house and take a look at it. It's just more efficient that way. Sometimes you will find yourself sometimes paying a little more and then getting out to the house, and the repairs are more than what the actual seller said, so you may have to renegotiate. But we also lay the groundwork for that as well. We tell them, look, based on what you have told us about the house, I can offer you this, we can lock it up. I will say that if we get out to the house and there's something major wrong, or the roof is leaking where you told me it was not leaking, we may have to adjust the pricing at that point. But we also, we give them advance notice of next steps on our end, and so that way we're not catching anybody off guard when we get out to the house.
Number 6 is marketing your deal to a buyer.
Yeah, this is the point when you send the deal out to your cash buyers list. Also, this is where it pays to constantly be working on your cash buyers list, adding new people. And I'm talking about all different types, from fix and flip rehabbers to buy and hold investors, and to even owner occupants. All of these people, they can buy houses at different price points. They all operate on different margins. Owner occupants, obviously, they don't operate on any margin, but the rehabbers and the buy and hold investors, they can pay completely different prices for different houses based on their investment criteria and what they look for. So, this is the point where, like I said, having a great buyer's list is going to benefit you the most. You need to be constantly networking, talking to people, seeing exactly what areas they're buying in and what properties they're buying, if they're buying land, single family homes, apartments. This enables you, for every lead that you go sign up, you already have somebody in your back pocket, or you have a pool of buyers that is likely going to be the one to close on the property.
I can't tell you how important it is to network. This is the side of the business where you should be at your local RIA networking and letting people know what you do. Get a good grasp on the buyers in your city. Meet them, know what they're buying. It's super important. It will really, really help you in this aspect with selling your deals. Number 7, once you actually find a buyer, all you do, you send them the contract and they sign it.
Yeah, so number 7 would just be get the paperwork signed from the back end buyer, and this leads us right into number 8, which is collect an earnest money deposit from all of your buyers within 24 hours. We typically like to get it done same day if there's enough of the business day left in the day. If not, we give them till the following day. Obviously, we're not going to rush you if it's 5 o'clock. We know that that's impossible. In our personal company, we require a $3,000 non-refundable binder to be due within 24 hours of the property. We also let our buyers know that there is no due diligence. Once you sign, you need to do your due diligence prior to making an offer on a house. We never let somebody lock a house up and then have a 3, 4, 7 day due diligence period. That's not the way we work in our company. We tell them you need to go out, take your contractors out there, look at the house, get all your bids, and when you make the offer, just know that the next step, if we accept your offer, is going to be to turn in that earnest money deposit and get the deal rolling.
And this is really standard in the business. So, if you're new at this and you come in, this is a very standard way of handling the cash sales.
I agree. I totally agree. And I think if any cash buyer or rehabber or flipper has any issues with conducting business this way, you may want to double check on the background and see how much experience they truly have in closing on houses, because most of the people that we deal with, they have zero issue with putting up any type of binder at any time on any house. So step number 9 is to run title, send title work off to your title company and stay in touch with them, making sure that everything is clear with the title. You cannot sell a property that does not have clear title, so you definitely want to make sure that you have found a title company that works quickly and works with you. And I think the only way to do that is build a relationship with your title company.
Super important to build a relationship with your title company, especially if you're doing massive volume with the wholesale deals, and that's what we do in our market. And we have a very good relationship with our title attorney and the closers in the office, and they really help with our files. I mean, we don't really, they set up the closing with the seller and buyer. They make sure that the buyer's funds are there on time before the seller comes into closing. So this is all stuff that if you have a good relationship with your title company, that will be handled for you and you won't have to go back and forth and be the middleman.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I will also tell you on the opposite end of that, a surefire way to ruin a relationship with a title company is to send a bunch of paperwork over on 10 houses that you know are never going to close or that nobody's ever going to be interested in. You have the title company do a bunch of work, and then they don't get paid. It wastes their time, it wastes your time, it wastes the seller's time. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, I'm not saying to do this with every single deal, but I will say if there is a deal that you get signed up and you're kind of skeptical about it, you may want to shoot it out to your buyers list, see if you gauge any interest in it before sending it over to the title company. And then you kind of have to pick and choose which ones you're going to do this on. I mean, sometimes you're going to sell it in hours, go ahead and send that directly to the title company. But if not, you may want to just hold back for a day or two and just gauge the interest that you have in the actual property. And this brings us right into step number 10. What is step 10, Shannon?
Closing the deal.
Yeah, my favorite part. So step number 10, closing the deal.
So you just want to schedule the deal out, which our title company does for us. And once it's closed, you get your check, right?
Yeah, so
for us, we do wires. You know, we've been doing it for a long time, so we just have it wired directly into our bank account. However, Adam does suggest.
Yeah, I suggest if you're new and you've never been through the process, just go to the first 1, 2, or 3 closings just to see what it's like, feel it out. It also gives you another opportunity to maybe get a video testimonial from your seller. Typically, the buyers of your deals are not going to go to closing. They'll usually do everything through wire like you will eventually do. But the sellers, they are always wanting to be at closing unless it's a mail away. So I would highly suggest going at least for the first few. And if not, I mean, some people go to all of them just for the actual video testimonial. So it's completely up to how you want to handle it. Like Shannon said, we definitely use wires. And also she mentioned about having the relationship with the title company. They at this point should be handling everything as far as scheduling the closing, getting in touch with the seller, scheduling time for them to come in. And then only thing after that is make sure all the money is there and the title company disperses the checks to everybody. You pick up your check, you go home, you celebrate with your family, and you do it all over again the next day. So.
So those are the 10 steps to wholesaling. This is something that's done over and over again consistently throughout your business, and you'll get used to it. It's really not that hard.
No, it's definitely not hard. I think you can take each one of these down and break them into a million pieces, but for the overall aspect of what wholesaling is, this will give you a basic overview of it. Please click the like button, hit subscribe.
Just want to say we really appreciate you guys. Thanks for following us. Thanks for watching. We really hope we're bringing some value to you. And bye.
Bye.